I think that our biggest gap whenever we start a project is we get people, the team, and it's usually cross-functional teams in a corporation, and people get really excited about it. But then you're like, okay, here's your questionnaire to go out to your suppliers. Here's what you need
Yeah.
to get this data, and they get really frustrated, and it tends to be a lull. Like it could be, between 2 weeks to 2 months before you actually get the data from the client because they have to go out and do so much work. And so I think AI could really help them in that process and maybe even saying to suppliers, here's a general number. Does this seem like, I don't know how, but I think right now that could be a really great advantage in getting it done much quicker and more efficiently
Yeah.
instead of being so burdensome to the whole supply chain.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's a good idea to test out the little different pain points and to work out
Yeah.
whether it can help in certain areas, but other areas you just wouldn't use it for or something.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And in terms of sustainability reporting itself, how influential are you finding it in terms of changing companies' practices overall? And is it because they're being required to do it, or is it because genuinely there's a sense that it's better for them as from a public perspective or economically that it's a better outcome for them if they can achieve better sustainability outcomes?
I think it's definitely we call them stakeholders, of course. Like you look at maybe if it's a publicly traded company, you've got your shareholders, and then you've got your customers, you've got um, your employees. That's a big thing because the younger workers want to work for a company that is sustainable.
Yeah.
So there's all these reasons to do it. Economically, it's huge. I cannot go to a client and say, use this type of material. It's going to cost you 3 times as much. They're not going to do it. But I can also go to a client and say, the benefit of the analysis is like you're spending too much on this, or you're using, like for Nestle, they were wrapping their pallets in this plastic that was really expensive. And in some plants and other plants, they weren't. And so we were like, why is this happening? And they stopped wrapping them, and they ended up saving like millions of dollars because of just they were so big that they didn't understand the difference between each of these factories. I mean, they have, several brands. And so those are the type of analysis that we can do to help save money. But it's unless it's a brand like a Patagonia or Allbirds or Reformation, that's the core to what they do, then they will spend the more money for the story and for it to be authentic to the brand. But major brands, that's not necessarily where their selling spot is around sustainability.